Welcome back to the Sorare Set Piece. I am your host with my co-host Brose Canceco. We are back, a hiatus of sorts. A lot of different factors going into it. We apologize. We will be more on task and more on point. But let's get into some of those just kind of crazy life situations. Brose, you've made a move, and not Sorare wise.
Uh, yeah, it was supposed to be temporary. Anyone hasn't noticed, slightly different background. Came up to outside the DC area to work on some, language learning, AI model stuff, consultants that I can't really get in details of. And my family had recently bought a farm out here, so ended up here temporarily, and now it seems like I'm here long term, and I am freezing my Royal Rastafarian nays off. It is very, very cold. We already got some snow. The pool is frozen over. And yeah, so just coming off of, anyone remembers, I had blew out my ACL, MCL, LCL, and pretty much every other part of my knee and fractured my femur. And ironically, I came up here. My sister shows up on Thanksgiving, goes on a fox hunt. She shatters her entire leg. So here I am.
Yeah, tough.
Uncle Robo.
Yeah, so you're on
Uncle
kid
Wabi on
duty.
duty.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say you're on kid
Farm,
duty.
dogs. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. So I guess I'm gonna be
Yeah,
here for an extended period of time now, and not upset about it.
yeah, it's good to be a family, and at least you were up here to like not have to come from Florida and rush up here like with all that happening. So at least Uncle Robbie did the rescue.
Exactly. And it's been like a nice distraction from like my pain and suffering. So rare was. So
Yeah,
got
yeah.
that going for me, which is nice.
The winter coming in the states, especially up north, where you went from Florida to a lot closer to my neck of the woods. It's starting to get some frigid temperatures, and whenever you your so rare lineups are kind of going to dirt. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough out there, but we're trying to stay positive. Uh, as
Oh,
far
absolutely.
as as far
I
as
was thinking like maybe I could like make the best out of this. Like, you know what? I got like a few adults in this large house. I could set up a few extra accounts, get some referral fees, multi-account. But you just told me that like there's been some drama.
Yeah, shout out to I don't know if he listens to this, he might, but in the MLS So Rare Discord, Mr. Speed, he is on everything. He noticed there were some Cap 240 rare, little sketchy situations, sending full teams. He was on it. He reported it, and he sent the screenshot that they got back to him, and they got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So shout out to
Well,
him.
like
Yeah,
he was sneaky about it, right? You said he was putting rare cards back and forth on two accounts like
that's
every
how
game week.
I followed it. So it seemed like he was multi-accounting slash there's something obviously like trying to get two thresholds, which hey, that would be great, but that's not how we play the game. And shout out to So Rare for
I mean,
actually doing something.
I was gonna like say it as a joke, being like card prices are plummeting. So like the only way I might be able to eventually break even is have three different accounts being able to play Cap 240 rare and limited. Like like
Right? Yeah.
jokingly, like I
Yeah.
would never actually do that. And if I were to do it, I would have been a lot more sneaky than using the same two accounts and just passing rares back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
how are you not gonna get caught?
Yeah, that's
And if he's on Discord and like advertising, like what did you expect to happen?
yeah, I don't know. Well, Mr. Speed just sent like he did the investigation from whatever I saw. I think he's from Germany, but he's in the MLS server Discord, and man, he's always on the hunt. I don't know where he has the hours in the day, but it seems like he's always on one.
Is
But
is this the same guy on Twitter who is always just like referral fraud person? Maybe has
probably,
like a
yeah,
different
he
thing
doesn't
on.
sleep. So
I don't know. That guy is on top of it. He's also the one who built like a bot to like get a jersey. Like finally, he built like a bot
was
and then
it? Yeah,
passed it out to everyone. He's like, I
yeah,
finally got a jersey, but I had to program a bot. And well, yeah. I mean, I guess the bright side of that is like we know that So Rare actually does see what people say. The support group actually exists.
yeah. Yeah. And I was just thinking, so if you're trying to,
But evidently they only take action and acknowledge it when it prevents them from losing money.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, terms and conditions for sure. But just makes me think, if I could run Cap 240, would I play anything else if you can max enter that? I know this is never going to happen ever, but honestly, the only way I could get back to close to even is if they let me max enter Cap 240 for thresholds, because there's just no getting back to the original investment. But that's just that. I got in at the peak, kind of, not Gary V boom, but you know, prices were way higher. Limiteds were going for insane amounts, and you're just never going to get back there. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I don't think my Pulse Camp backup U23 card will ever be $97 again.
Hmm?
Just
2 years.
throwing that
2
out there
years.
for a limited.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
So
we've all been there. We've all
it is
done
what it
that.
is. The thing is, we keep playing, so like there's something great for this thing. We're just hoping that they figure it out. And like honestly, at this point, I'm just like, my cars keep getting better. I keep winning more thresholds. Eventually, it will happen. Eventually, I will not make a stupid mistake. Like what? Last weekend, I got 320 points in All Star Rare, which was like my third priority lineup. And I did that with the DMP.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I just
That's
started someone, I would have gotten a reward. So you know what? Like the trajectory is up for me if I could just
absolutely.
have it all come together every once in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like a lot of pain recently. So the other thing is, I'm looking forward to it because eventually, if things keep going the way they are, only the OGs and the diehards will stick around, and we'll just play against all noobs. If people just keep selling off, we will just get all the best cards, and we will only be playing against noobs, and we will just be dominating.
yeah,
Like a
yeah. I mean,
unique might be worth like like an Mbappe unique might eventually at this rate might be worth like $780. But you know what? I'll still be around then. I'm in it until it goes to zero.
yeah. It's not. I know it's, you get this financial aspect to it. It's obviously stressful if you have money that you can't lose in here. You shouldn't to start with. It is a game. I just kind of think of it, okay, I already lost that money, like it's gone. Okay. I hide the old gallery on Sorare. Just I don't want to see it. It just puts you in a negative mindset. So just I love that feature. That's probably my favorite feature on SorareDeke is just the hide the gallery value. I don't want to see it.
It's so good. But on the bright side, there is a very big bright side.
What's
And
the bright
that
side?
is MLS cards.
Yeah, the prices are absolutely insane. And you know, I'll pop this up just real quick. So I do this for all the teams, and so MLS cards right now are insane.
Deke,
Yeah,
you were rare only, and I told you, I was like, I started buying some MLS cards, and you're like, which ones? I was like, limiteds and rares, and you're like, I'm buying limiteds.
I'm thinking about dipping back in. I haven't yet, but I've thought about just getting smashers at these prices. It's like, how do I not just I even if they go lower, I just how do I not get in at this right? But like so the MLS
I'll have so
obviously,
much fun.
yeah, exactly. It's fun. Like that's why I play the game. I do it for fun. I can't imagine my life without So Rare. Like the sweats of building lineups and sweating something at work at 2:30 in the afternoon and like everything that goes into it. But as far as MLS, I just want to do a quick okay, pump the brakes first before you buy a single MLS card because their structure of
There
the
you go.
league
That was
is absolutely insane. Okay. Unless you're buying Carl's Hill or, Lucho
so.
Acosta.
This is the caveat. So MLS cards are dirt cheap. they start back in February,
Yeah.
at least the beginning of March, right? At the
Yeah.
latest, beginning of March.
Yeah.
So you only got a few months break. They're dirt cheap, and remember, you can have Carly Skill or Reynoso. I mean, you can name a list competing against European guys.
Yeah.
We could talk about. You could also have Facundo Torres, but what's the problem, Deke?
Winter
Landmines.
window. Winter window. So let's just pull up San Jose here. So contract decisions, the MLS is so weird that they have player options, but it's a team option that they can just be like, yeah, we're not gonna pick you up, and everyone has an option. So San Jose was the most surprising in my opinion. So today, if we take a look at all the guys that they cut, Jamiro Montero, really surprised he's gone. So Nico, our boy Nico, 18 and a half years of age, the U.S. international, he might take over that spot. I had one loaded up to buy, but I'm going to wait because they'll probably buy somebody and bring him in and put him back on the bench. Nathan, he was out with an ACL injury all of last season. He was an AA absolutely smasher, and I was looking to buy him. I waited. Thank God he's gone. At any point, these guys could be bought. Miguel Trocao, he's a starter. Option declined. That was a surprise to me. They
Wow.
picked up Paul Marie instead. Paul Marie is probably going to be their starting left back. Matthew Hoppe, Akinola, both of those loan to buys canceled. So they kind of just dumped everyone. So if you look at their current roster, and let's get rid of this spot, open empty row. Yeah, you can fit it all pretty much on this screen. The two major ones that are still here that are interesting is Espinoza. He's not going anywhere. He's under contract till 2025 with an extra year. And Obose is interesting as well. But it seems like they're really going to retool. Rodriguez was bought on a loan to buy option. They picked him up. Tanner Beeson played well. Seems like those are their two center backs. But it'll be interesting what they do in the transfer window. Cade Cowell, I don't really expect him to be back based on some of the rumors, but he hasn't been good either. So, like, you take a look at any team, and you could do this for literally all 29 MLS teams. What the hell is this roster going to look like in 2 months? And that's like my caution to everyone buying, because guess who got burned on this last year? Me. Because I made all these stupid decisions and had these issues. So definitely a word of caution to everybody. All right, minor technical difficulties, but we're back. All right, so just left off. I was talking about San Jose. I went on a big rant on San Jose, but it fell on deaf ears because you weren't here. But you gave a reaction, but you just weren't here to get the reaction. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so like the reason I listen to Deke and ever listen to Deke is he is just like next level big branding everything MLS and Sorare. And so like I sent him a list the other day being like, wow, I could pick up just like the most elite MLS team, like all the teams for just like under like a few $100s and limited. And he just started going to like, well, this guy and this guy and this guy. So like as you obviously saw, there are a lot of landmines out there that like most people probably don't even think about or know about. So if we look at like the top 30 players and
Yeah.
all of MLS, Deke, like you point them out, and like some of them are pretty obvious, but
Right. Yeah.
a lot of really really good players are unlikely to be in the MLS in a few
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Like,
You just don't
and
know, right?
you might be like, oh, sweet, they got to transfer to this team, but like chances are they're not going to start right away. So, like, how many of these guys, which one of these guys should we be wary of? Like,
Yeah.
the nice part is that there are some guys who are really, really locked in.
Right. Yeah. The locked in guys, Carl's Hill, he's locked in. He has a contract through 2024. Hector Herrera, he's been unbelievable this year. He's locked in. I don't see him going anywhere. Lucho Acosta. Reynoso had his contract issues / whatever's going on. I don't know if he just doesn't like Minnesota in the cold, whatever that was. Ricky Puig is locked into LA Galaxy, which is good. And then like Danny Bouanga,
Bouanga's locked
uh,
in.
Cherundolo said he's black and gold whenever they asked him about his future. So, things can happen.
Nice.
But if you look at like Thiago Almada, he's got to be gone in the winter window. He's gone.
We were lucky he wasn't gone
Right.
2 months ago.
Kai Wagner, he's a free agent, so he could go elsewhere. He could stay in the MLS. He is a complete wild card, but he will be serving a 1-game suspension at the beginning of the year if he's on an MLS team. Ryan Gauld
Well,
should be
so
fine at Vancouver.
with him,
Okay.
with Wagner, are we worried that like teams might shy away from him due to like
Yeah,
his recent
that,
issues?
that too. Yeah. I mean,
Racism is bad.
yeah. Turns out it's really bad, and like, you know, I feel like he hasn't gotten the publicity as much as like Van Zier got. Van Zier is like head on chopping block, but I don't know, maybe just because my Twitter has like fan base of Philly, and it's not like trashing Philly. I don't know. Have you seen anything
But
where it's
like,
like,
no, I'm just wondering, like, because I thought he was a lock to go to like a bigger club in Europe, and maybe
right,
there's
right,
like,
yeah.
well,
True, yeah. That's a really good point. We talked off stream about Jesus Ferreira. You want to give your little tidbits on him? Because I agree fully.
I mean, he was on fire. Like everybody thought he was just going to be like a lock to go in. Then he missed a bunch of games. Everyone was like, "Oh, well, he's not playing well because of this groin injury." Like shout out to Germ. Like he was like so on point.
Yeah.
He saved me like multiple lineups, multiple weeks, just being like, "I'm not going to play in priority lineup," so I didn't. And yeah, and I think the same goes with Velasco. It's like I thought those two were going to be locks to go somewhere else, and they didn't. Velasco had a brutal knee injury, which I'm all too familiar with. So, like, why would any big club spend a ton of money on him when he's definitely out a year or close to a year? So that kind of shot his potential. And Ferreira, it's like, all right, well, they're pro athletes and he's young, like they're big boys. Like groin injuries aren't an excuse. So if that was the issue, maybe they're just I don't know what the real issue is, but if I was a big club in Europe, I'd kind of like shy away from that right away. And his biggest performances came against what we're calling him the Pirate of the Caribbean. Like, it's not like he's balling it, and he didn't really play that great against any of the best teams in MLS. So if I was like a scout and like I have been lucky to like work with and know about the scouts, like I would be wary. I don't think that he's going to get as much attention as people think. Like if Thiago Almada didn't get a big thing and like other players who seem to be better and have like more complete skill sets aren't going to be like or questionable, then I don't know. He might be around for another year. So I got his card and I'm holding it. I dumped Velasco though.
Yeah. I mean, Velasco, it's a long hold if you're a holder. Some of these other guys, like Rodriguez, is a guy who's locked in. San Jose picked up his loan to buy, like I said previously. He's locked in, so you have no issues with him at all. Aiden Morris should be fine. I don't really see him moving. I don't think he's ready for. He played phenomenally, but I just don't think that next move. Tolkien should be gone. I've heard a bunch of rumors. I'm holding on to Tolkien because Salzburg could be a move, and with Mar Didic, however you say it, could be moving, maybe taking a step. Could be opening up that left back position, but again, all speculation. Palacios said that he's done with LAFC. Well, he didn't say done. He said he's looking for a new challenge. So I don't really know exactly what that means. Um, Even like Bongi here, he had Orlando Pirates in South Africa rumors. I mean, rumors are a dime a dozen.
Hold on. Here's the funny thing. I tell Deke, I go, all right, who did I get? I have like a lot of these guys already, like the guys who are staying. And who did I pick up? I got Rodriguez, I got Reynoso. And I was like, yeah, Bongi, like Reynoso, like I got like a nice little stack going. You're like, yeah, but like Bongi might be going to the Orlando. Like all I saw was Orlando. I didn't see the Pirates part. I was like, he's gonna start playing baseball. like I'm thinking like Orlando Pirates are like a second tier team,
right.
like AAA for like the Pittsburgh Pirates. I didn't know that Bongi was a baseball player. You're like, no, in South Africa. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, like I'm gonna take that risk. Like,
right. It's
I think I got him and Reynoso for $20 limited. So
nice.
like, I'm just gonna try and put together Murderer's Row. But like, Tolkien is awesome. I mean, I just think that like who are the guys who we can most reliably who are the guys who are mostly going that you think are not going to be playing the MLS next year who are in this top 30 and who are the guys who will be staying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Like what about Torres? What about Facundo?
right.
What
Yeah.
about Barrial?
I think Barriel and Torres both move. Do I have concrete evidence of that? No, but I think they could both move. I would say Barriel seems more likely to move, although both do. I just think, boy, he had those Ajax rumors, which would be okay, maybe if he's a starter and they've started to turn things around a little bit, but it'd be interesting to see what he does in that. But then if you keep kind of going down here, there's some interesting names in this L40, that's for sure. Like
Oh
Klitsch,
yeah.
Klitsch, he's locked in DC. I know they have a new manager, but he's locked in, gets the sets,
I got
free
him.
pass. Evander is interesting. Second year model of the MLS. He's integrated in. He makes some really stupid plays, but I think he'll have a really good year this year. He's one of the guys that I'm kind of for $7 for a limited. I looked at that. I'm like, do I have to buy his limited? I hate myself, but I might have to.
He's already in the bin, baby.
Yeah. But you kind of look through like Carranza, I'll talk about him. I would say I am probably 75 to 80% sure he's gone. I think he'll any kind of European team, I think he's gone. It just seems like
What
the
about
fan.
Gazdag?
Gosbag, I think, is fine. Still under contract till 2025, I believe. He just doesn't really have the ambitions to kind of go from there. I think he's, kind of set in his role, and I think he's fine. I am kind of interested into how Philly's going to look because it's going to be a lot different. And they decide Jesus Bueno to a long-term deal, so I kind of feel like he's going to pop into that kind of starting role that Bedoya kind of is leaving open. I hope Jack McGlynn stays
Well, so
around.
so what's going to be so different in Philly? Because I think all I've heard is that Wagner might be gone. Right. So
Um,
like, who else?
so as far as Bedoya being gone, I know that's not like, he's old, okay, but he brings a lot to the team, just kind of a leadership role. But that does open up one of the central mid spots. As far as the strikers, man, they've struggled. Ura didn't have a good season, and he's interesting. They brought in Ty Baribo, however you say it, the Israeli striker. He's gotten integrated into the team, but he hasn't really played at all. They have Quinn Sullivan, who's an interesting younger prospect. The defensive line, so Mbizo, his family couldn't get visas, so obviously that kind of makes him want to go elsewhere. But Hariel is there, and I think he's a solid option. But there's just a lot of moving pieces, and just judging by how they looked at the end of the season, just kind of gives me a little bit of. But they've retold before, so we'll see.
Okay, well, what about Cucho?
Cucho, that's an interesting one. He has the talent to move on. Like he's a guy that I would not buy at this price. I think he had an unbelievable season. I think everyone's looking at him. They'd be stupid not to. I think he's made a name for himself. He came in the winter window, so he has a year and a half under his belt in the MLS. So I think he's a guy that could take a step for sure. And that step, where's it going to be? You know what I mean? Like,
But
is it going to be?
that's a pretty high risk move because I think if like everyone else we've mentioned who are potential moves, if they're potential moves, why wouldn't Cucho be?
Yeah, I just kind of glossed
Like,
over him as he's 100% a potential move. I would say
so like
60-40 he leaves.
okay, but Tolkien's interesting because I mean, evidently Salzburg. I don't know. Honestly, like half their team is injured.
Yeah.
So like whoever their physio,
Yeah.
anybody who is their doctor works on the physio team training. Everyone needs to be fired immediately.
Right. Yeah. There's
Like
some clubs that it's just been like just absolute garbage. MLS too, but like Toronto this year. What are they doing? Like what's the preventative measures that they're using or the recoveries that they're using because it doesn't work.
if you look at Salzburg, it's insane. So like I remember I got an Umar Soleil for like $50 or $60 in the offseason,
Poor
and then I
guy.
sold it for like $90 or something, and I just bought it back for $8.
Yeah. He's just
Like
so injury
I got a
prone.
Sekou
Man.
I got a Sekou Koita rare for $90.
Yeah, you send me those prices. They're just absolutely insane. You look at that, it's just like all these injuries have opened up value. That's for sure. And it's like, man, when these guys
So
come back,
irregardless of like the so rare state of whatever, we're not going to get into that. But I think the thing is, like, the first 3 episodes we did was balling on a budget, and we focused on limited, and we kind of like touched on the fact that like you're exclusively rare. So like the fact that MLS cards are so cheap that you're making a plan to buy them up. I'm trying to get away from limiteds, but MLS limiteds were just so cheap that like
yeah,
I'm getting Messi, I'm getting Giacomakis. Shout out Trip and B because I'm getting on the Charlotte train.
there you go.
Swiderski, Vargas, I don't care. I'm gonna go all in on Charlotte this year, just because like now I'm in the Mid Atlantic area, so I can totally foresee like a Trip and B, Deke,
Be careful
Robo.
though. Swiderski's probably gone, so I wouldn't
I don't
get
care.
hopes up.
I'm getting on the Trip and B. I'm on
Yes.
the Trip and B fan train. I can totally see us dominating the Charlotte, DC, and Philly area come this summer.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go and see Laird. I think we should just get all the boys together. Maybe
Yeah.
we
And
should invite the Sorare Down Under guys over. Get Nellis. We can just
short trip, right?
have a whole Donnybrook. Get McBride Ace in on the mix. We can just do an East Coast trip. We can start up in Toronto and Montreal, and we can work our way down to Miami.
This is great in theory, but I also have a 1-year-old, and my wife would never let me do this.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Maddox can't hop on the party bus with us?
Maybe you can, but it's not going to be nearly as fun.
But the long story short is like you can take advantage of building some summer teams right now. And we talked a lot about limiteds and budgets, but it's always an evolution. So my issue was I had all limited and slowly going to rares. I've kind of leaned into rares for a couple different reasons. I think I can do better there. A tier 5 rare reward, which like I've been lucky to rack up like a bunch of tier 4s and tier 5 rares like without even trying. Like just getting lucky in 240 and 270. And there's never been a better time to build a cap 240 rare team. Like if you have all limiteds and you have any desire to get into rares, I spent $1,000 total. Like not like the goalies that I got were $1,000 total, and I have 4 of them,
Four
and
of
they're
them, yeah,
all starting
yeah,
now. Granted, like I got lucky. I saw 2 guys who had missed the start or a couple starts. One missed a start, and I was really excited because in that missed start, the guy got a red card or a yellow card. He was on the bench and he got a yellow card.
yeah.
Ursay Cardesler and Draxic from Bordeaux. They'd missed a couple starts, and I was like, well, you know what? They were $500, $600 a few weeks ago. They missed a start, and they're down to like 150, 200. And Basil had a few of them. So I was like, well, why am I holding on to like backup goalies who are worth the same? Like, and was able to trade them out. So the fact that I was able to not spend any more money and get 2 more rare starting goalies, now you can get starting goalies in Europe for like $200.
I was looking
Like
at
legit
prices.
in
Yeah,
like 20, and they don't need to be good. Like Lennart Grill, he's in his squad, but like he's got me 4 thresholds.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he gives up 3 goals, but I'll save a PK and he'll get like 40 saves. So you can get a rare 240 squad for Europe all the way through and have some extra outfielders for depth in a 220 team. And you can also just run that, right? But you could probably build a rare cap 240, like all the outfielders, for under $125 right now in MLS.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can definitely take risks with that. But even if you take a look at Europe, man, like you can even get probably 4 outfielders for $100 that are like cap friendly guys that you can hit
Oh,
thresholds over and over with too.
not cap friendly. They can win you
Right.
rewards.
Yeah, and you've shown that. And like,
Um, so I also went from 60 rare cards down to 39 rare cards. I went from, hundreds of limiteds down to, I've just been churning and burning. I don't care if I'm winning rewards. I've had like a lot of bad outcomes. But the thing is like we've talked about like limiteds, and then like here's the thing. I have a really, really good, not a great limited gallery. I don't have like Liverpool stacks and PSG stacks, but like I have good limited players. It's so hard to win a reward right now.
yeah,
Like, but I can get the best reward I can get is cap 240 threshold and limited and rare. That's $55. And you know what? I get that, and I dump junk and trade it out, and I just keep building up the rares.
yeah,
So even a tier 5 rare is worth $10.
yeah, yeah,
You know, it's all I'm saying is I think that now is the time that if you were to start progressing from limited to rares, now is definitely the best time to do it. Well,
yeah.
at least historically, it's the best time it has ever been.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's going to get that it's not going to get better because just trajectory. But yeah, I mean, Deke, I'm tempted to do what you did.
And what did I do?
You just fire sold all your limiteds to go with all rares. But on the other hand, I have
Uh,
too much fun playing
yeah,
limiteds.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't like right now. I've kind of transitioned a little bit. I, before like cap 240, like yeah, I would try to win the threshold for sure. But it was like probably my fourth or fifth lineup, maybe even higher than that. And like I'm like, what am I doing? Like so I went down the cap 270. That was kind of I under 23 is number one, just because those guys that I play in under 23, their cap's too high to play in the other ones anyway, usually. So I do prioritize that. But I was going cap 270 over 240, and I had some success. But like in the long term of things, if you can just grind out thresholds and if you have a midweek
Every
game
week.
like every week, like it's not as sexy, but if you look at if you get a reward on top of that $50, then it's like okay, this is starting to get I mean that's a great getting that ETH. You can, especially now, if you look at the market, $50, you can get a nice player, a rare player that
You can get some really, really, and you
is
can get
nice.
some really good MLS rare players,
Yeah, and
like some really solid guys.
for
You
your
get two
instance,
thresholds, two
yeah,
rare thresholds. That's like an Aiden Morris. You
yeah.
get like another two thresholds. That's we're
There's
talking,
your goalie,
but like you can
right?
also
Yeah,
do this. No, not your goalie yet. Well, yeah, you can get a Panico.
yeah,
That's not. You can get a Panico and a McCarthy, which I am definitely going to get. Because I just think I'm willing to roll the dice for like $50 on both of them and think that like they'll get enough starts. But the interesting thing is like scouting. I mean, we and that is one thing that I'll give us credit for. Sorry for the long delay in getting back to the podcast, but like we didn't hit everything perfect. Nobody's gonna be perfect, but a few of the players that we pointed out have really gone above and beyond. And that's honestly my biggest problem, Deke.
yeah,
We talked about it earlier. David Marshall, 32, L15. We're like, he's the perfect. He's up to 46,
yeah.
and he's probably due for another clean sheet this weekend. He's not even getting clean sheets, and he's hitting 65s. Okay. Uh,
uh,
it's a good problem to have.
it's a great problem to have, but then you're like, Man, I literally have no one that can, who's my cap guy. One cap guy he was just on the bench today, Yari Versharan. I tweeted about it because I'm so stoked about it. He's gonna get
Oh,
some
I've been
sub
tracking
appearances.
him.
I'm so pumped he was on the bench. It's just like
But
guys
he
like
didn't
that.
get a. I've heard that he won't be
He's a
back
month.
until the new year.
Yeah, he's a month plus
A
away
month, yeah, a month. So
from.
the new year.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just good to see that he's like, it's a card in your gallery that like, oh, he's alive. That's great.
Oh no, I know, but I've been tracking him. He's really really talented. Like also like a great player. But here's my conundrum, Deke. Okay, so like I'm so thrilled. My gallery's doing great. I got down to 39 rares. We're crushing it. All of a sudden, I look down. I go, man, Sekou Koita. He's finally on the bench last game. Did not get a sub appearance because they couldn't score a goal because everyone's injured on Salzburg.
Helps the cap.
Mikel
Let's
Lotto
go.
goes down.
Yeah.
Mikel Lotto. Well, no, he needs to get a sub first because he's still at 45.
Yeah.
Mikel Lotto, we don't know what's wrong with him. He's out, but like I've been picking up these pieces. These guys were like $300, $400, $500 strikers a couple months ago. So the problem is like I need some low cap guys for my cap 240, and the month-long cap 220 rolls around. Do you know how hard it is to find an L15 rare card who's playing a midweek?
Yeah.
Right now, who has a cap under 41?
Yep. It's extremely difficult to say the least.
So I love the cap 220 competition.
Yeah.
And can we talk about the shout that's been the gift that keeps on giving?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who is it?
Um,
2
I don't
clean
know.
sheets in a row.
2 clean sheets in a row.
I said last
Norbert.
Noppert.
Norbert, yeah.
I said he's a great cap guy for my cap 220 rare team. He won me 2 rare rewards. He's won me 2 limited rewards, thresholds, and yeah, evidently he is just back to form.
Yeah, and
So
you
I
love
said
to
on
see
one
it.
podcast he was a good shout.
Yeah.
Cheap, a very very cheap goalie.
Yeah.
And I went out and bought him during the podcast.
Yep. You did. And I think we're to wrap this up. I just want to show you that even though we talk about things, I am still an idiot. So here's what I'm going to leave us with. All right, let's take a look at this Cap 220 lineup that I put together, and I kind of prioritized it. So this is from last week. Atubulu had a really nice looking L15 that fit well.
Ooh.
Fiat looked well. Lefay finally smashed. Guido had nice. And I played Calamuendo on, he was probably like 50% to 60% to start when I could have just bought in a $5 limited card. What am I doing? Just like, what was I doing?
Are we in the whole Taylor Twellman? What are we doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's just like looking as soon as he didn't play, and I'm like, this is cap 220. You could have played a limited. You could have bought a limited. And I didn't have any forward options.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
This is
I
so
just like,
sad because
I'm like, what am I
I
doing?
actually asked you about a limited forward, and you're like, that guy's awesome. I was like, he's only like $5. He
Yeah.
smashed like he got like a 90.
Yeah. I'm like, oh
And
yeah,
you're
he's
like,
awesome. He's a smasher. And I'm like, what am I doing?
and you had all, oh wait, I told you, Attic, and you went out and you built 2 limited stacks.
Yeah, I have
So
Attic.
so do you hold
He
on?
wouldn't have fit,
I have an
so it
idiot.
didn't matter.
I have an idiot sandwich to beat you here. Go look at my my Cat 270 from last week.
All right, let's check. Let's see.
Oh, you can also see all my nice new pickups.
Yeah. Was it which game week? 428?
27.
27.
427.
Cap 270, you said?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Tom Hay. Not today, Tom Hay, but Tom Hay from there smashed. Wanizak, man. That's
But the first three hit, they were all in, and I'm like,
bring her
we are
home, baby.
good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's rough. And especially what's crazy about limiteds right now is take a look what you won, a tier 4, and you put up 391. I know the captain changed his thing in 270 points wise, but man, that's tough. And
That third goal from DF killed me because I was 20 points off from a low tier 1 or something.
yeah. Oh, man. That's brutal. Yeah.
But hey, idiot sandwich. I mean, I also, had other goalies who fit there who were much better. And
Yeah.
hey, I mean,
So
we rolled the punches. I got a reward.
exactly. So I just wanted to end it with, okay, I'm an idiot. I do stupid things. If you just think things through and, okay, cap 220, play a limited who's 90% to start, right? Who's 95% to start. Don't overthink it and like, no, I'm going to play another rare just because I'm not going to buy a $5 when it cost me. Hopefully long term, it didn't cost me too much, but in the cap 220, before he was going to play, because he's the last guy, before he was going to play with LaFay and that whole stack, I was projected pretty decent. But then, like, whenever he was in there, I don't know how the projections work on SorareDeke, but I was projected like ninth.
It's getting more confusing than ever.
I was projected ninth whenever they were putting up those huge scores and he was still on the bench. And I'm like, if he comes on, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. But
Hold
yeah.
on, but you have built the template to the best new strategy. Because SorareDeke and their lineup projections are great and everything, but play sharper expected scores in
Yeah.
Deke's template.
Yeah, I love it.
Is
Yeah.
money. You have it? Do you have that on
I
your
don't have it
SorareDeke
on my
site?
desktop, but I need to definitely
I think
release
that
that.
would be so essentially Deke made this like next level genius spreadsheet where you can just put all the SorareDeke stuff, like you can plug it in, you can even like copy and paste it, and all the SorareDeke stuff, so you can get kind of like a greater opinion or data set to predict your lineups. And it has been incredibly helpful, even if you just use it as a reminder to check more than one source.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say like that's a big thing we could do to help. But hey, so last closing thought. Do you want to hate sell your Calamendo?
No, no. My Ren collection, I just can't get rid of because I won 3 rewards
Doku?
after buying Doku. They were all Ren guys to boost Doku. It just kind of worked out that way. But they aren't great. I don't think I've had a single reward from my Ren guys other than Doku, obviously. But yeah, I'm not a hate seller. I'm not even a seller. I'm just a hold and watch them decline in price. So that's my strategy.
All right, so next podcast we're going to talk about how much money we spent on just building the most elite MLS galleries for next
Yeah,
season. So
I'm in. I'm in.
and also we'd like to hear from people like what do you guys want to hear? Because I mean I personally think that limiteds are so much fun. Like I'm just going into the fact that like I'm YOLOing it. Like I can't wait to have like a messy Reynoso, Gil. I'm not even gonna talk about a goalie, but like probably I don't know, who am I gonna throw on that D?
Hollingshead, how good he's been.
Rodriguez. Rodriguez,
Rodriguez, yeah,
Hollingshead.
you
I
already
don't
have
know.
him. Yeah.
I'm gonna have the 10 best defenders. I'm gonna have the 10 best midfielders and the 10 best forwards, and I'm gonna have every goalie in the entire league, and it's gonna cost me under $400. And I'm just going to roll out monster stacks every week, and I'm probably going to have more fun doing that than I've ever had on Sorare. So
You're
if
gonna
you guys want
smash
to
all
join in
summer.
on the, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go full degen. Like I'm just,
Yeah.
you know what? It is what it is. It's like Simon on Sorare. I don't know. He's like, I just all Liverpool, all Man City. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have so much fun with it.
And that's the bottom line. We're just trying to have fun here, right? No matter what, Sorare is fun. It's not financial. It's just fun.
It's the
So,
opposite of financial. I think
yeah.
my financial advice as a registered financial advisor is that do not listen to anything we say and do not play Sorare unless you
No.
want to lose money and have fun.
Yeah.
Which you know what
And
you gotta spend and lose money to have fun.
exactly. I
That
go to
is
the
life.
casino all the time and I light money on fire there. And it's not nearly as fun as buying Sorare cards that I can use from time to time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like doing dumb shit. So
Yeah. On that note, let's call it. And we're going to definitely stick to a better schedule. You're all moved in. We're ready to go. So let's say like maybe once a week.
Cap 240 rare squads coming up ASAP.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks for watching and hit that like button if you can. And we'll be back in 7 days, call it even. Thanks for watching.